Hey everyone, Tom Fitton with Judicial Watch here. We've been monitoring what's been going on in Arizona, but there are other states where the election processes really are too slow. And one of the big violators is California, where millions of ballots remain uncounted. So we have up here, I'm going to bring my mouse, the results for California, at least as officially presented by the state. Unprocessed ballots status. So obviously you can see here that California has a lot more counties than most other states. The numbers are extraordinary in terms of the estimated total ballots remaining that still haven't been counted and are unlikely to be counted in large measure until at least next week. So let's see here. Let's go down to Los Angeles, obviously a big county. Everyone knows where Los Angeles is. They have, according to the numbers here, let me bring it up, 152,000 ballots remaining to be counted. Supposedly there'll be a next drop later today, presumably 4:30 or 7:30 Eastern time. 35,000 ballots supposedly remain to be cured. Now, cured ballots are ballots that have some type of error or are ineligible because of something happened to it, and a voter can come in and, quote, cure it, but that's a large number as well. But look at these other big numbers here. Merced County, relatively small county, 38,000 ballots still uncounted. Orange County, 173,000 ballots uncounted. Sacramento, the capital, 260,000. Riverside, 165,000. San Bernardino, here we are, 199,000. And it just gets worse and worse. 87,000 in Sonoma County. What's the other big number here? And this is Ventura County, 93,000 ballots, excuse me. So the big number here is 2.626 million ballots uncounted as of now. And there's another interesting stat I want you to see. Vote by mail ballots received after Election Day through E+7 ballots forwarded by other counties. So these are either ballots that, I'm not sure what ballots forwarded by other counties mean, but certainly this covers ballots received after Election Day, but are still counted under the California law. Now, you may recall that Judicial Watch just obtained from the Fifth Circuit a ruling that found that counting ballots received after Election Day is an obvious violation of federal law. It doesn't apply to California, but it shows you why elections can be distorted and undermined by the counting of ballots received after Election Day. I would argue counting ballots after Election Day distorts what goes on. 148,000 ballots have been received after Election Day. They've been taking in ballots, and eventually they'll be counted, for 7 days, and it's only ending today, the election technically, as far as I'm concerned. So why is this bad? Because federal law requires generally that we figure out who won on Election Day. That's the way I read federal law. And it's very unusual to decide elections in post-election day counting. It ought to be unusual, but it's not unusual here in California. And if you if you're following the makeup of the House and whether or not Republicans will control it, or if they do control it, how narrow the victory or majority will be, you'll see a lot of the unknowns are in California, where there are many races where the ballots have yet to be fully counted. And I'm like talking only 60% of the ballots being counted, at least in one race I just saw before we got here. So there's a major issue in California. They're not counting their ballots timely. And what happens is when that happens, it invites voter fraud, undermines voter confidence, and as I've been shouting from the mountaintops, I think it's in plain violation of the law and ought to be ended. And if this election doesn't show why this is a disaster for election integrity in California. 2.6 million ballots not counted a week after the election. Unacceptable. By the way, no matter how awful California elections are now, they'd be a lot worse, but for Judicial Watch, we had a massive settlement with Los Angeles County where they removed 1.2 million names from the rolls, cleaned up the rolls of 1.2 million names. We have a lawsuit now that's active to remove millions more, but I know the elections are cleaner in California, but there's a lot more to be done.